Okay, we're back here with the final 5, I guess you could call it, Robbie, of our top 25 Gator teams of all time. We've been counting them down. We're already up to number 3. Wow, this has gone by in a hurry.
Yeah, it sure has.
The number 3 team, you remember them, you just saw them, the 2008 Gator football team is the number 3 Gator football team of all time. Now,
not Gator football team, Gator team.
Yes, you can make an argument that they're the best ever. When we saw what they did down the stretch, obviously destroying people. And of course, 2008 was the year of the Tebow speech, which is, I'm just about tired of hearing it.
But see, Pat, if they had beaten Ole Miss, you could say they may have never won it.
I don't think they would have.
But that kind of turned the whole season around and back to the speech thing. It got them all motivated, and they were a different team from that point on.
Oh, I don't deny how great the speech was and how important it was. And but you know, it's taken on a life of its own.
It really has. I mean, it's already in stone.
It's in stone, stadium, exactly. So. I remember what I remember from that day is when Tebow. He was, you know, a lot of people don't see the beginning of that talk.
Oh,
he had a hard time getting it out.
A lot of writers were looking at each other like, "Gosh, what do we do? This poor kid's going to start crying." And
I remember him. Yeah,
touching. It really was. Touching.
He was very emotional. And when he was giving the speech and he got done with the speech, I looked over. Robbie was across the room, and I went, "My, I'll take that."
Shocking that a columnist would do that, huh?
I'll take that.
They take the good stuff.
That was also the weekend my dog died, so it was depressing at the same time. It was a weird weekend at the Dooley house. There's no question about that. But it was certainly a turnaround point. And Robbie,
it was a remarkable run from that point on.
What they did was just amazing. I mean, sometimes you look back and you can't even believe the scores were that ridiculous.
I mean, you look at some games too. If it hadn't rained at FSU and they hadn't blown a couple of scoring chances, they would have put 60-something in Ron Zook Stadium. Is that what they call it?
Ron Zook Stadium. That's right. Well, they obviously the win over LSU was huge when they just blew them out after losing to them the year before. Were they 65 on Kentucky? Blocked a bunch of kicks. Then they beat South Carolina. Was it 56-6? I want to say
56-6. It was a complete team. I mean, special teams, everything, offense, defense. It all came together. And you know, the guy behind it was the guy behind the speech, Tim Tebow.
And as great as it was, they were sitting there at the end of the third quarter in the SEC title game, and I'm thinking they're going to lose.
Yeah, Alabama had physically taken charge of that game, and all of a sudden, boom. 2 big drives right in a row, game over.
Yep, and Tebow proved to everybody he could lead a come-from-behind win. Obviously, it took us down to the Oklahoma game, which was down in Miami. It was kind of a weird thing for us because we know Bobby. Bobby's played my golf tournament. Bobby Stoops, a great guy. We talked to him. It was like old home. We
really
getting together with him. But then when the game started, you know, it's Florida versus Oklahoma, and none of that matters.
And what the Florida defense did that night, the more you think about that Oklahoma offense, to hold them to what they did is just pretty amazing. And you know, Charlie Strong should get a raise, even though it's not the season of raises.
He should, he should get a raise, a big raise, and maybe it'll come eventually. We'll see. But the bottom line is that was a great performance, like you said, by the defense. But that game epitomized the 2008 defense, Robbie.
It did.
They let Oklahoma move the ball, but then they'd make the big play, whether it was Torrey Davis on 4th down, whether it was Ahmad Black, whether it was Major Wright getting the tip. They made the big play to get off the field. Yeah,
and the Ahmad Black pick is going to be one of the great plays of all-time history of Florida football. To come up with that ball the way he did, and you know, and then to drive it down the field and clinch it with a touchdown.
Yeah, it was great, and it was a great win for Florida, and I know Gator fans had a great time, especially being able to watch it in their home state. All that's left now is Pasadena. They'll have all 4 the Grand Slam of BCS National Championships. Well, that's going to do it for our number 3 team. We'll be back with number 2. Who will it be? Do you know? You have an idea? We'll be right back with that. Till then, this is Robbie Andreu and Pat Dooley saying goodbye.